Thank you for tuning in to another edition of the Vulcan Report. This end of day report is for trading on Wednesday, August the 9th, 2017. The other day, when I did the radio show, the Trading Terradome with the Rogue Money Show, CJ and I had discussed several things. If you missed the broadcast, you probably want to go back and peep that. But at any rate, I threw you a bone for the faithful listeners and followers of Rogue Money and Post Wave Trading. I threw you something. Now, what I did was I gave you a little something, something that the Black Ops Trading Room subscribers get every day. All right, and that's what to buy, and where to sell. I threw you a bone, ticker symbol BITCF. As you can see, the market moved up parabolic today on this daily chart. Had you been paying attention and listened to what I told you, you would have saw this surge before it happened. This happened on 3 million in volume. All right, that's a lot of shares, especially when you see you've been averaging only a couple of hundred thousand a week, and on some days you got 200,000, 100,000, maybe 300,000 shares. But as you can see, this finally exploded on both the daily chart and the weekly chart. Still not out of the woods yet, has a long way to go, but I did show you and explain to you how BITCF is the better play than the BTSC. BTSC took it on the chin again today, along with GBTC. All right, they all fell down today. Even Nvidia and AMD fell down today. All right, so this should tell you something as far as which securities closely track better the whole blockchain space, the Bitcoin space. And right now, this is it. All right. So BITCF, nice movement today. If you went ahead and got in on that, you're probably going to want to go ahead and lock in some profit or what have you. But way to go on that. This is just what we do here every day. Let's look at BTSC. All right. As you can see, this one's dead in the water. Way more open interest, way more volume, but this one looks like it's a sham of a security. Yeah, it's a penny stock. Yeah, it's trading at 6 cents. And I'm not dissing the price of it. I'm dissing the pricing mechanism of it. Um, if this thing keeps moving like this, it's going to be a red flag, and it's going to show that all of the noise going around the internet about this may be true. This may be a sham of a company, and it may end up getting delisted. To be quite honest with you, so I'm not liking this one at all. I'm gonna keep watching it, but I'm not throwing no money in it. You better believe that. All right, let's take a look at Nvidia. Nvidia is looking still powerful here. All right. Still looking powerful, even though it closed down today. All right, it closed, it closed off of its highs. When I say down, it finished the day up a $1.81, but we were off this 174.56 high, and it managed to bounce back pretty good. So it's tracking the whole Bitcoin thing really well. Let's see here in the extended, we got what? 172.60. So a little bit more rallying in the extended hours on the NVIDIA. Still looks very strong. It looks like it wants to go to 180. AMD, though, it's just really been stuck in the mud a little bit. As you can see here, it gapped down and has not fully recovered from all of that. All right, we have not filled the gap. So we'll see where it can go from here. And right now it's just it's the weaker sister. It's just not moving along that well. I know people like it because of the price, but price is not necessarily everything. You need to look at the total package of what's going on. And right now, you're getting weakness here. It's not tracking like it should be. All right, it's just not doing it. So you got to put your money where the momentum is. All right, so on the GBTC, we came down, but we still have not filled the gap. Still need to deal with this gap. All right, and it needs to do it on an intraday basis. It needs to spike down, fill the gap, and then close above the blue momentum line, which is 504.87. Got to stay above that while filling the gap. Failure to do that, and then you get a disconnect, and then you got a down drift that'll probably bring prices down to 449.13. All right, so that's what we're looking at on that one. All right, let's get to it. Looking at gold futures right now. All right, looking at Goldilocks. Goldilocks rallied really nice, got all the way up to 1284.70, and now here we are quiet. We're up almost $3 at $2.30 right now. You can see this is the next day session right here. This little red dot. So if I can make that bigger for you. All right, so market's starting to give back some here. As long as the market can stay above 1273.80 tomorrow on a close, that's still good momentum going forward for Friday. All right, and possibly into next week. We should see 1300 in gold, provided the central banks are not successful in smashing it down between Thursday and Friday of this week, which is tomorrow. Looking at silver, silver was able to get a lot of energy behind the move today. As you can see here, it's got itself into the Kumo cloud on the daily chart, which is good. It's really pushing that. So I think we should see 17, but hopefully it can do it tomorrow. If not, one more chance on Friday, but this should help silver get itself together. You could really see a powerful run being put together here in the silver. Looking at natural gas right now popped up also, as you can see here, got up to 289 today. So it's trying to do a little something, but it's in this danger zone right here now. Last time we got up here, it got sold. Did it again here. Can we keep going here? We would look to possibly do a solid 287 on a close. I want to just round up and say 288. If this market can close above 288 this week, this would open the door for that $3 run and get prices back above $3, and that will hit this trend line here, and then possibly get prices back into the Kumo cloud. So some interesting price action getting back up here to these trend lines, and it's only a matter of time before we see where they end up at. Looking at the long bond after it hit that 155 in the cloud, we're at 154.17, so it's maintaining right now. As long as it can get a close above 154.12 tomorrow, this should be able to get enough energy to get out of the cloud. If not by Friday, then some point next week. And then that, depending on what kind of energy we can get behind that, should be enough to lift those trend lines out of the cloud too within the next couple of weeks. So a lot of interesting things shaping up here in some of these markets. Let's see here. I did warn you guys about this one when everyone else was saying, oh, the dollar's this and the dollar's that. Well, the dollar has been powerful off of its lows. You can see it's maintaining now this momentum. All it needs to do is close above 93.45 tomorrow, and you know what? It may make a run back to 94, and if it can do that on a close by Friday, then it opens up 95.47, long-term trend line resistance right here. All right, so we'll be watching that to see. We only got 2 days left of trading, so we'll see what can manifest itself between now and then. Also looking at The euro here, you see it's starting to come off now. All right. If it cannot close above 117.29, it's going to open that door back down to the trend line resistance, all the way back down here below the 114 level. So this is interesting, but we got this enormous ramp coming up on the daily. So this could bail the price action out and could be pointing us to further damage in the dollar. And again, the dollar has 3 full points that it can use at its disposal. We can pull back 3 more points and still maintain the strong dollar agenda, even though for import-export purposes and political purposes, the Trump White House needs the dollar to remain a little soft. So it's a delicate dance, and just looking at the rampage coming up, I think they're going to let the dollar slip a little bit more. So we'll see. They'll let it get too close for comfort at some point, but that's just the trajectory that we're on right now. Looking at XIV, all right, looking at all our proxies here, you can see this spike down today, and then it recovered, but not nicely. All right, but you still got rampage coming up. Remember, I did warn you guys about the valley up in here. I did tell you about this valley. So it elongates for maybe about a week and a half, and then you got rampage coming right after that. So we'll see though. Carnage can happen. Sometimes things can catch on, and one thing leads to another, and you get behind, and you get way below this cloud here. All right, so basically what I'm saying is this: we're looking at what can happen here. So if we get into this downdraft part right here, then what's going to end up happening is this: as we get further out. All right, then you get further out away from the cloud, and you continue to drop on the XIV. And XIV, you look up, and next thing you know, instead of this $90 a share, it'll be at 60. So it's a very delicate dance, and you have until the 18th of August. All right, if we're not above the Kumo cloud when it gets to here, that's all she wrote. That vortex is going to suck this price down, and then we'll see tremendous correction coming in the stock market. Okay. All right. So moving right along, since we are talking about the stock market, let's segue into the Dow here real quick. Excuse me. Okay, let's see. Here we go. All right. Here's your Dow. All right, you can see how it is already starting to come off. All right, it can fall down here, then get itself back together again as we get further out, but the cliff is still here. We're dangling off the cliff. All right, so you could see maybe a 200-point shave from here downside. It's potential, because you got trend line support at 21,848, so that's 200 points away from where we are right now. All right, we're at 179 off of that high, so yeah, 200 points from where it is now. It could get down to 21,750 though ish, but I think we're probably it'll be a spike intraday low, not a close. I don't think, but you never know. But I did tell you guys about the topping pattern, and that topping pattern is playing out regardless of the situation with North Korea. It's all saber rattling right now. They need something in the news to try to justify the markets pulling back. The markets had already started pulling back anyway and losing some steam anyway. All right, regardless of the whole North Korea situation. Just take a look at this right here, and this proves my point. Let me go ahead and pull this up for you. Look at this Russell. The Russell was already the weakest of the stock indexes. So you come out with a story now to justify what is happening, And there you go. All right, the Russell is leading the way. All right, so the more the Russell falls and the further away it gets from the other indexes, the harder the other indexes are going to fall in comparison in relation to the Russell in order to play catch up. Remember, the indexes all move together. All right, they move in harmony. All right. Call it the synopsis of the indexes, okay? They move in harmony. The Dow, the Nasdaq, the S&P, and the Russell move together. All right? It's just how it is. You don't have to like it. It's just a fact. Okay? So it's at times some of the indexes will take leadership. Normally the Russell has been a typical leader. The Dow can take lead or the Nasdaq can take lead. The S&P never leads because the S&P is a composite of the Dow. All right, it's the Dow's little kid sister, if you will. All right, so the S&P is going to do exactly what the Dow does, and it does not lead. The Dow leads the S&P. The Nasdaq can have a mind of its own, and so can the Russell. All right, they can go for an extended period of time, trending away from the other indexes. All right. Those are anomalies that happen once in a blue moon. The last time it happened was back during 2007 when the Nasdaq had broken away from the Dow and the S&P and the Russell and refused to hit new contract highs while the other compadres were hitting new contract highs. The Nasdaq was not getting off the ground. Okay, the Nasdaq is the last daughter at the dance to hit new contract highs. Just remember that from the prior videos that I showed you going back into last year even. And I said that's what the markets were waiting for the Nasdaq to get its act together. And now here we are, okay? So with that being said, remember guys, just because I don't make videos every day bragging and boasting about the pulse wave system as amazing as it doesn't mean that amazing things aren't happening. All right. I'm just not one to beg people to do something they already know they should be doing anyway. That's one of the reasons why I hated the mortgage business. I hated the fact of me trying to convince people that they need to pay off debt and do things of that nature, and they already knew they needed to do it. Why do you need me to convince you to do it? So I've never been one to chase behind people and beg for nothing. All right? You know what you need to do, so get to it. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, pay no attention to the North Korea news. It's just more saber rattling. All right? More fear porn. You know, people warning about this and warning about that. And I cannot tell you how much stuff I get in my inbox, people warning about, you know, prophecy this and prophecy that and end time and end of days and all this stuff. And first, you know, and then they want to quote scriptures. Let me tell you something, man. The most scary part of the prophecies that you are quoting and the scriptures that you're quoting, it's not about that. It's not about the who nukes who. It's not about nuclear warfare. It's not about World War III. All right, the prophecies in the scriptures is talking about salvation. They're salvific in nature. All right, there's nothing frightening in there. It's actually quite joyous. And I'm referring to the book of Revelation. All right, so understand that is apocalyptic literature dealing with the subject of eschatology, which is the study and the discipline of the last things or the last days, dealing with the advent, the second advent of the Most High, okay, and the rapture of His church, and the tribulation, the great tribulation of those that are left behind. And when you bring it all together, what it's talking about, even though this is apocalyptic literature, and yes, it does deal with, there's some talk It tells you about markets and economy and things of that nature, even in there too. Yes, I understand that. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's salvific in nature. All right, regardless of all of your end time prophecies that people like to quote and things of that nature, at the end of the day, what are you going to do with Jesus? That's what it's about. What are you going to do with the name Jesus? So don't come to me and send me messages about prophecies and all this other stuff when you have not dealt with the Theanthropos, the God man, Emmanuel, God with us, Jesus of Nazareth. All right, you got to deal with that first. Deal with the Most High first. Deal with your Yahashua ben Yosef first. Then you can holler at me about all that other stuff, because all that other stuff is irrelevant. All right, it's irrelevant if you have not dealt with your sin, if you have not made yourself right with God. All that other stuff is ridiculous and it's a waste of your time. Prepping is a waste of your time if you have not gotten right with God. All right? When you die, you can't take all of your gold and silver and freeze dried food and guns and ammunition with you. All right? So, all of that other stuff, miss me with that until you deal with Emmanuel. Then you can come holler at me. All right? So, I just want to put that out there. I'm not trying to discourage anybody or disrespect anybody. It's quite the opposite. I want to encourage everybody. You know, I keep it real with you on this channel. All right, so ignore all of the hype about thermonuclear war and all that other stuff. All right, forget it. Forget about it. It has nothing to do with nothing. It's political purposing so that they can pass whatever new legislation and agendas they want to hop on next. I do not have time enough in the day to go over all the different things that are happening, folks. All right. There are wonderful channels on YouTube that do that. I don't need to do that. All right. But yes, you guys need to know there's a lot going on out here. Okay. All right. Fidelity is talking about bringing Bitcoin tracking to traditional investor portfolios. Did you know that? All right. All the things I was telling you guys and warning you about years ago is happening right now. Okay. It's happening right now. So you guys need to know that. All right. Department store operator is beginning to test Bitcoin payments in Japan. All right. Department stores are getting in on this whole Bitcoin thing now. Okay. It's a reason behind it, you guys. I told you it's not about the coin, it's about the technology and its various applications. Even UNICEF, all right, is starting to venture into Ethereum for smart contracts. Come on, man. I told you guys that this was burgeoning and not going away. Okay, the government is going to figure out how they can uh, subjugate this whole thing, and they're going to come out with their own stuff and forbid you to use anything else, or make it so that it's so marginalized if you use anything other than their stuff that it won't even be worth your time. If you catch what I'm saying. So I know I'm dealing with a lot here, and I don't have time, like I said, to make 200 videos a day dealing with all the different things that are going on. My thing is to give you what's going on in these markets and how you can benefit. All right. So with that said, postwavetrading.com. All right. Come do yourself a favor. Learn how to trade these markets. Learn about the power of the pulse wave system. Put that power in your hands. All right. Learn about what it is that we offer here. All right. Learn about the 2-bar Charlie system. You're not going to learn none of this stuff anywhere else. I guarantee you. It's not in any trading books, no magazines, no nothing. All right. This is 25 years of proprietary research. All right. That's what this is. Using real money in real markets. You can ask any of the people that are in the trading room. They'll tell you. We got traders from all over the world. We does this. This ain't no pretend. This ain't no playing over here. All right. When I tell you guys things, it's for a reason. I don't do these videos just for my health. All right. I'm trying to help as many people as I can while I still can, because at some point I won't be able to do these videos anymore. At some point, I'll have to shut down the trading room to new people. All right. It's just what it is. So, today is the day to take advantage of opportunities that are presented to you when they're presented to you. All right. And with that said, I'm out. Bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. So remember to take what you can and give nothing back to these greedy central banks and their markets. Peace.